Texan Global School. Percents. This class analyzes the concept of percent and its relationship with fractions, ratios, and decimals. Essentially, percent means per hundred. Its symbol is shown on the board. Specifically, a percent is a part to a whole represented as a ratio. That whole expresses 100 units. So, a percent can be expressed as a fraction with a denominator of 100. Let's see the first example. We will represent 22% in its simplest form. So, 22% means 22 out of 100. As a fraction, it is represented as 22 over 100. And when simplifying the fraction, it is 11 over 50. To represent 22%, let's draw a model with a 10 by 10 square. There are 100 little squares or units. 22% is represented as 22 ones, as shown on the board. We can verify using a rule of 3. 1 as the total is 100%. So, 22%, how much will it be? When performing the cross product, it results in the initial ratio, 22 over 100. Let's simplify the fraction by using prime factors in the numerator and denominator, obtaining 11 over 50. Now, if we divide 11 by 50, with the long division algorithm, results in the decimal form. In this case, 0.22. Hence, we conclude that 22% can be represented as 22 out of 100, 11 out of 50, or 0.22. In this other example, we will represent 50% in its simplest form. So, 50% means 50 out of 100. As a fraction, it is represented as 50 out of 100. When simplifying, 50% is 1 over 2 or 1/2. To model 50%, let's draw a 10 by 10 square. Hence, 100 little squares or units. 50% is 50 units, as represented on the board. We can verify using a rule of 3. 1 as the total is 100%. So, 50%, how much will it be? When performing the cross product, results in the initial ratio, 50 out of 100. The fraction can be simplified using prime factors in the numerator and denominator, thus obtaining 1/2. Now, performing the division of 1 over 2, with the long division algorithm, results the decimal form. In this case, 0.5. We can conclude that 50% can be represented as 50 out of 100, 1/2 or 1 over 2, and 0.5. In this next example, let us represent 100% in its simplest form. So, 100% means 100 out of 100. As a fraction, it is represented as 100 out of 100. And when simplifying, it is 1. The model represents the total of the 100 squares or units, as shown on the board. In this last example, we will represent 140% in its simplest form. As a fraction, it is represented as 140 over 100. And when simplifying, it is 7/5. The model that represents 140% needs two 10 by 10 squares. Since the desired percent is greater than 100%, it has to be 100 plus 40 units. That is, the total plus an additional 40%. With this model, 140 squares or units are represented. We can verify using a rule of 3. Since the total one is 100%. So, 140%, how much will it be? When performing the cross product, results the initial ratio, 140 over 100. Using prime factors in the numerator and denominator, we can simplify the fraction, thus obtaining 7 over 5. Now, by dividing 7 over 5, with the long division algorithm, results a mixed number. 1 whole, 2/5. By analyzing this number, the integer represents 100%. And if we divide the 2/5, we get 0.4, which is the other 40%. Both added results the original 140%. In conclusion, 140% can be represented as 140 out of 100, 7/5, 1 whole, 2/5, or 1.4. Texan Global School. Global online learning. Knowledge for the world. www.texanglobalschool.com